Greetings, fellow sentient earth beings. How are we this morning? Now, you might have seen a little intro there, and that would be because I was trying to be clever and do that while I got Instagram sorted out. Because I've had problems with Instagram, and I thought, well, if I can do that, and then I go on there, and then I press live, and then that happens, and then that happens. Sadly, that's not how it worked out. So it looks like I'm still not live on Instagram. Oh well, it's just gonna have to be like that, I'm afraid. Just have one more go at that. It's not looking good. I don't know what I've done wrong. So it worked the first couple of times I did it. So why? Why do these things happen? Yes, morning KLG. Look at me with my flashy intro. I don't know if there was music on there because I tried to put music on it and I couldn't hear anything at this end. So there might have been. And if there was, it was called Tibetan Singing Bowls. So if you could hear anything, let me know, but you might not have been able to. I'm just sad that it didn't work as I hoped it would work, because I wanted to somehow like get that little thing up so I could get Instagram sorted out, and it just hasn't worked. But we're not on Instagram. No chat on screen. Right, okay. Sort that out. Oh, it should be on. Oh, I know why it's not on. You know, you do all these things and think you're being clever, and then it all goes horribly wrong because you've tried to be clever. But I think that should be on now. So cool. Let me know if you heard music in that intro. That would be of interest. Okay, so I hope you're well today. Happy July the 4th to all the nice people in the US. And for all the nasty people, I hope that the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your armpits. But nice people, yeah, have a great time, really enjoy it. I wish we'd celebrate it here. And, you know, the more time passes, the more we are actually taking on board all the American sort of ways of doing things. Like Halloween, wasn't it? That's got more American, and also like proms. We never had proms here. And then all of a sudden we're having like high school prom and that. So perhaps we will also start doing July the 4th. And why not? Why not? We should all have more holidays. Holidays are good. So hi Devonte, happy July the 4th or 4th of July to you. Hope you have a great time. Right, okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of astrology. So a little bit of an astrology overview for you. Today we've got some tricky things relationship wise. So we've got Venus in Taurus. That was Venus and Taurus combined. So we've got Vorus, that's a conjunction between Venus and Taurus. That means unexpected changes in relationships, and that could mean that you're going to have to make some decisions which might be quite tough, and you could feel quite stubborn about it. That's the Taurus bull. That's my daughter's sun sign, and she is like super stubborn. Mind you, so am I a little bit. So it can be tricky. So this could be you today. So there could be things that you need to change about your relationship, make some decisions, but you could be like really, really stubborn about it. So try to, when you recognize something in yourself, you can do something about it, can't you? Good morning, Deanne. How are you doing? And cats as well. So yeah, try to get that, what is it called? Self-awareness, isn't it? If you're feeling stubborn, recognize it, and then you might be able to sort of sort things out in a relationship. So that's interesting. Now later on, Venus goes into Gemini. That means that relationship wise, you could like consider yourself having more options, because Gemini is that eternal flirt. Okay, so it could feel like this morning you might feel like you've got decisions to make about a relationship. This afternoon you could have more options on the table, or perhaps you're considering more options. So moving into tomorrow, we've got the moon in Scorpio, and that's making a square pattern with Mercury in Leo. That's a tricky setup because we've got ego, and then we've got Scorpio and the moon, both watery, both emotional. Scorpio can be very dark when they're riled. So we could have some arguments, and you could be led by your ego there. So today, look out for your stubborn side. Tomorrow, look out for your ego coming into play. Now, combining those 2 days, you might find yourself with the relationship issue today, and then tomorrow there might be time for that watery thing to happen, and you might be able to have a heart to heart with somebody who you've sort of tussled with today. And again, let that ego down, because sometimes we have to be right, don't we? Sometimes we really, really want to be right. And then it's better sometimes just to say nothing and let the other person win, even though it's like it's really difficult to do that. And KLG, are you a Taurus, or do you have Taurus in your chart with that stubbornness going in there on there? Right, so, and did we see, oh, we got Lady Cat there as well. Good morning and happy July the 4th. Right, so we're going to do a collective reading first of all. Remember, the collective reading is not necessarily for you, but it could be Spirit's way of tapping you on the shoulder and getting a message to you. Or it could be more of a general overarching thing. So the collective reading is 3 cards, and it gives me the opportunity to see the interaction between 3 cards and to do a little bit of a narrative, which I think means that a message could get to you if you need to receive a message. Now, I've had a think this morning, and I thought, I always ask the angels for things, and I ask the universe for things, but everybody has a different sort of deity or power, or some people use source or the universe, and I don't think it really matters, does it? I think, or even the higher self, it's like whatever that thing is to you could be a thing trying to get a message to you. And you might think, well, how could something try and get a message to me by finding some random UK woman on YouTube and then making her cards give me a message? It just doesn't ring true, does it? However, the way that I see it, now this is my belief, I'm not expecting you to take this on board, it's the way that I explain it to myself, because I have to, otherwise I wouldn't do things if I didn't think that they worked, is that there's no time. Time is a construct of mankind, and in the spirit world and in the sort of universe, whatever it is you want to call it, then there is no past, present, future. It all happens at once, or it can all be intertwined. And think about Einstein's theories of time and time-space continuum and quantum. Now, I'm always going on about quantum, but when you start looking into it, it really is explaining a lot of things that spirituality has purported for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Now quantum's coming along and going, all right, this is because this. So it's like, well, we knew that for like a long time. So I sometimes think that whatever power could get a message to you can already see what the cards are going to say. And there's already like, yeah, I'm a random woman from the UK who you've never met. But when the universe or source knows everything and every person, it's difficult for our minds to get sort of round that, isn't it? But imagine if, suspend your like practical mind, and imagine if that's the case, and then imagine that that source or power can see past, present, future all at once. So they know what those cards are already going to be. They know that they've tapped you on the shoulder to randomly come here today, and then perhaps I'm going to give you a message. So that's how I sort of see it. That's how I explain it, because a lot of times my cards are very, very accurate, and I'm not going to tell you that I know why or how that is. I just know that it is. So I've got the kind of head that tries to come up with an explanation for things. So that's where I am with that one. Right, so before I'm blethering on, I do apologise. Right, 3-card collective reading. Let's go. You would have heard me shuffling away there. Oh gosh, yes, we like these cards this morning. These are deep and meaningful, so somebody really needs to hear this. We've got the Hermit reversed, we've got Death reversed, we've got the Two of Swords reversed. So what we have here is there's a big change needed. Whenever you see death, okay, don't think death and run screaming, think change, transformation, because again, from a spiritual point of view, death isn't just like, it's like transformation. In fact, it's a really good transformation, because you graduate from this old knackered physical body to something far brighter and freer and lighter. But this doesn't mean that you're going to drop dead, okay? It's major transformation, but it's something that, with it being reversed, it's something that you've denied, it's something that you've clung onto. It's like there is something that should have been dead to you, but it isn't. Yeah, you're still living a life you shouldn't be living. You need to let go of something. Now, this is where we relate back to this Hermit reversed, okay? This is like saying, You've been inward too long, okay? There's something you need to let go of, and you've procrastinated over it, and you've held it inside you, and you've not been willing to sort of bring it to the open and go, okay, well, that doesn't look very good. Let's just dust that off and get rid of it, okay? Or maybe confront somebody, or maybe tell somebody to sling their hook, okay? But it's something that you've swallowed deep inside you. Now, all negative emotions can do damage, I think, when we keep them inside us. And I think that's why disease is dis-ease. And there's a lot of studies that sort of back that up. There's a book, I can't remember the author, it's called The Body Keeps the Score, which is all about how trauma and sort of repressed, unexpressed emotions can cause dis-ease, disease in the body. So get rid of something that you're clinging onto, someone that you're clinging onto, a mindset that you're living in, or a way of life you've just sort of kept hold of. Perhaps that's quite an isolated way of life, with that being the hermit. Perhaps you've become distrustful of people, like you just keep things inside you now because you've been hurt in the past. And then this death card saying, hang on, let's wipe the slate clean, because you can. That's the great thing about life in this, on this plane, isn't it? We have free will, so at any given time we can change everything. Like if I wanted, I could finish this tarot thing and I could decide to just disappear and go to a different country and do something entirely different. I'm not gonna, because my dogs and cats would hate it, but I could do, yeah. And you can do literally anything, can't you? Okay, right, yeah, money's an issue, etc, etc, but you know, though, like, bear in mind there are practical considerations. You do have a lot of choice to make, and you have free will. So you can decide today to get rid of the old things that no longer serve you, which is so, so powerful. That thing like today is the first day of the rest of your life. I love that saying because it's so true. I know it really like literally is, but it's also like reminding you that you can make those choices. You decide who to be. You decide who has power over you and who doesn't. So leave something behind. Now this brings us on to that Two of Swords reversed, and that's really backing up those two cards there, because that Two of Swords is like, there's a decision on the table, right? Look at this reversed card, okay? Oh, I didn't put the cards on screen. I was looking to change it to me and I'm on the screen already. Look at that card, right? Let's have a look at it that way up. Woman, blindfolded, two swords, moon above her head. Right, what that symbolizes is she doesn't know which way to go. She doesn't know which sword to choose. She's blindfolded because, like, she can't see the way forward. It's swords because you've got one in one hand, one in the other. Could be a bit of conflict going on there as well. And that moon is about using your intuition to make that choice. Now, I think with that, combining that with the Hermit and the Death card hair there, my tongue and mouth won't work this morning. We're looking at the same thing, isn't it? It's like, use your intuition. You know what is the thing that you need to let go of. You knew as soon as I said that, and you know what your other choices are, and you know that you can choose, okay? It's just you've put a blindfold on. Sometimes it's easier, isn't it, to remain in the same situation. Keep that blindfold on, keep doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome, because we get comfortable. Even in negative situations, we get comfortable. This card says, take off that blindfold, all right? We're upside down because it's saying, it's drawing my attention to it and saying there's a block here. Take off your blindfold, choose your way forward, and leave what doesn't serve you behind. Rely on the moon, rely on this intuition, okay, to make those choices. But be strong about it. Be strong about it. Make your decision. And then if, you know, we too often worry what other people think or say or do. And that's one thing we can't control, isn't it? The free will of somebody else, because they've got their free will. So they can choose to think and act and do exactly what they want as well. And we can't change that. We can only change ourselves. So choose life. Choose the way forward today and stick to it. Right. That was good. I liked that. That was a good one. Right, okay, so let's give these cards a quick shuffle, because we're going to do the 24 card piles of 12, 2 card, choose a card, choose a question, pick a card reading. I hope that describes it well. I've still not come up with a way of describing what we do, okay? But here's how it works. You can choose a number or numbers. We don't just say one number here. You can have as many numbers as you want, between 1 and 12. But what I'm going to do is put down 12 sets of 2 cards, okay? And then I'm going to interpret them. So if you've got a question, you might think of the question, think of number 2, for example, and then hopefully number 2 will give you some insight about that question. However, I was thinking this morning, you know, sometimes our minds can be clouded too, and we don't know what question to ask, or we ask a question that we think like, oh, we'd like to know that, but it might not be the thing that you really should know. It might not be the thing that source, the universe, your guardian angel, whatever it is you call it, might not be the thing that you need to know, might not be what that source wants you to know. Okay, so maybe sometimes it's good to just kind of keep your mind a bit blank, or just choose a number without thinking about a question and see what comes out for you, and then hopefully you'll go, well, I never thought of that and I hadn't even thought to ask the question. So you might want to try that out. You can also just decide not to think of anything at all and not to choose a number and just to listen to the cards, because every tarot card and every combination especially has a meaning and a lesson for us all. And KLG, 12 double card pickup, that's got a resonance about it. I quite like that. We'll try that. We'll try saying that next time rather than waffling on incoherently. Right, okay, so here we go. Choose your numbers. If you're choosing numbers, let's get this show on the road. So here go the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've even fitted them all on the screen this morning. Things are looking good. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I use this little screen so A, you can see that I'm actually putting them down and not just making it up, and B, because you can actually, if you couldn't be bothered to listen to me blethering on, you can watch this as a replay and you can just skip forward once you've chosen your cards, because I go 1 to 6 along the bottom, 7 to 12 along the top. So 1 to 6 left to right, 7 to 12 right to left. Oh, we'll go around again, put those second lot on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now I'm going to randomly read them. And I do randoms because when I first started doing this, lots of people said that they just sort of knew that I was going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So they only watched the bit where it was number 4. And I was like, I'm going to foil those plans. I'll do them randomly so you don't know where it is. So you have to watch more of me. Right. Okay, let's go for number 7 this morning, firstly. And I didn't put my little screen on. Look at that. Haven't even got it on my list of options. Technically, not brilliant. Fail. All right, there we go. Right, let's turn this over. What do we have here? Right, we've got the 9 of Swords and we've got the 4 of Wands reversed. So what do these cards mean? Okay, so basically we've got a situation of stress domestically, a situation that's causing you anxiety about your domestic setup or about your relationship. The 4 is about stability. It's also about how you feel in relationships and your home, with this being reversed and with it being teamed with this rather unpleasant card, the 9 of Swords. It's like saying there's a lot of stress going on there to do with the home. I'm just going to pull a clarifier because I don't like just totally negative readings here. Okay, so we've got the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a really good card for stability, and it's also about family as well. So it feels to me like there's stress and anxiety which is being caused by some kind of upset at home. But it's like there is stability. We've got a 4 and we've got a 10 here. So there is stability round the corner, but it feels like at the moment that stress is getting to you. Now, what this card can also mean is like generational help, or help from you know, like grandparents and things like that. Now, if your grandparents have passed over to the spirit world, if you subscribe to that, then don't for a moment think that you can't get help from the other side, because you can. So look for signs, okay? You might want to ask for help. This is something that I think people don't do, and you might feel a bit silly doing it, but for me, at least, it works. Like, ask for help, ask for guidance, ask your guardian angel, ask your relatives in spirit, ask your ancestors. Remember, I love this, right? Remember that you are the product, standing here today, you are the product of hundreds and hundreds and thousands and hundreds of people coming together in love, okay, and relationships between two people. Now imagine this. You pass over to the spirit world, all of a sudden you can see all your ascendants and descendants. Wouldn't you be really interested in what they're doing? Yeah? Wouldn't you be really interested in helping them out? So if you reach out for help to your ancestors, it might not even be your grandma or granddad. It could be your great 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 uncle who's just dropped in to watch over you, okay? But might be like, well, I can sort that out for you. So ask for help. All right? So domestic situation, lots of stress and anxiety there, but there is going to be stability in the future. It just feels like it's going to be a little bit of a trial and tribulation to get there. Ask for help, reach out on a generational level, whether that's on this side of the veil or to the side. Okay, lovely. Now let's get that screen back. I've got my screens in the wrong order this morning, thanks to me being clever and putting that intro on. I've now got screens all over the place, so I'm not fluidly changing between them. We shall go with number 8. Number 8, we've got the 8 of Pentacles and we've got the Page of Wands. Now, these are two quite nuanced cards. Nuanced, that's an interesting word for today as well. What do these mean? Let's have a look. Right. 8 of Pentacles is a portal card, and by that I mean it's got a door on it. What that means tarot-wise is that there's the opportunity to progress and go through a door to the next place or through a portal. So it's like leveling up on Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that. It's like going to that next level, okay? 8 of Pentacles is about training and education and learning as well. So it's like you're being offered the opportunity to upskill or use your skills to progress to something else. Yeah. Now, teaming that with our Page of Wands. Pages are messengers, but they're also new beginnings. Yeah. So let's think. I wish my camera had stopped going in and out of focus. What's that about? What this could mean, okay, is that you've got an opportunity to start something new and to use skills that you've either accumulated or skills that you're learning at the moment. Could well be. For example, imagine this. You've been studying Reiki, right? And you think, well, I'm pretty good at this, but I don't know what to do with it. Now, this could be saying, right, let's get those skills and let's start offering Reiki. Let's start a business. Let's start a new enterprise. Here's the Page of Wands. Wands are very much work, fire, inspiration, and these could be, this could actually be on a literal level, using those skills that you've acquired in Reiki to start a business, a new venture. All right. Now that is a literal meaning, and by that I mean, like, these cards, you know, everybody's life, the minutiae of it is so different that these are a generic meaning that can apply to many different situations. But think education, skills, learning, being able to progress to the next level by utilizing those skills, okay? Or perhaps it's like you need to learn something in order to progress. Like perhaps you've been thinking about doing a course or studying something, and you're now being prompted, do it. Yeah. So it's about learning. It's about progression. But our Page of Wands is also about new enterprise, new beginnings. So it's like, I'm reading these together, so we're looking at using skills, whether they're learned or about to be learned, in order to start something new, to progress, to become that page, because a page is the child of the royal family of Wands. So it's like he's full of naive excitement about new things. It's like he doesn't hold back and go, yeah, well, I'm a bit jaded and this won't work. It's like, imagine a 8-year-old child. It's just like, yeah, let's go, let's do that, let's do this. So it's like, that's the page, that's the energy of the page. So embody that energy and use your skills and go further. Pages are also messengers, as I said. So sorry to cloudy the waters here. Cloudy the waters, is that a saying? Cloud the waters, not cloudy the cloud the waters. Yeah, sorry to cloud that. Do you know, there's nothing like, all the rest of the day these words will just trip off my tongue, no problem. Stick me in front of a camera, my head just goes blank for literally every other sentence. So back to these cards. I'm going to cloud the waters. The page is also a messenger, teaming in with the 8 of Pentacles there. You could be receiving information about skills, learning, promotions, being recognized for stuff, okay? So there's the two potential meanings there, new beginnings or a message, but certainly a heavy emphasis on learning and education. I'm just reading Pedro's message there, and you know, Pedro, that I can't pronounce your first name, and I always use Pedro, and it's really ignorant, and I promise I will remember to Google the phonetic pronunciation of your name. I would like a reading about if human resources from the resort I was working will call me or send me an email. Let me get to the end of this and I'll come back to that, and we'll see what we get on that for you. Right, let us move on with the whatever KLG called it, and I forget now. Let's scroll up and see what that was. 12 double card pickup. Right, let us move on with the 12 double card pickup by going to number 6. Number 6, these are sort of good cards. I was going to say these are great cards, but they're like a little bit tricky. Right, we've got the 10 of Wands and we've got the Tower reversed. So what do these cards mean? You'll see me swap them over like this because I've got my screen on mirror, so don't think I'm just like making them one way or another to suit my interpretation. In fact, they've come, when you're using two, there's sort of, you could read them either way anyway. Right, we've got the 10 of Wands, we've got the Tower reversed. So what we have here is you're carrying too much emotional baggage, you're carrying too many problems, you might be carrying somebody else's problems on your shoulders, and it's time to put them down, right? Because you're not going far, you're not getting far in your own life because you're like weighed down by all these sticks. Look at him, he has literally got all of them on his shoulder. Now, the good thing about the 8 of Wands is that in the distance, there's a mountain with a castle on the top of it. Mountains are challenges. Castles are home. You're getting to where you want to be. So it's like, this isn't a negative card. It's not saying, oh my goodness, you're going to fold under the pressure. You're carrying so much. It's like they're there just a little bit longer, right? But it's also like, if you put down those wands, if he scattered these wands all over the place, those mountains would be hellish easy to climb, or much more easy to climb than they would be carrying all that, yeah? And the destination, their castle, think home, is easier to get to, all right? So you might want to drop your load. You might want to drop your load, okay? Drop the emotional baggage, drop the problems that you're carrying for somebody else, because your destination is in sight. The finishing line is peeking out of the clouds there, but it's like, it's difficult to walk with all that on your back, isn't it? Now, you're also being given quite a tap on the shoulder from the card of warningness here. And this is the Tower reversed. Now, with this being reversed, it's like the Tower this way up. This is like chaos and calamity. This is like events that happen where, wow, I didn't like that and things are never going to be the same again. Doesn't have to be bad, because sometimes things need burnt to the ground in order for you to rebuild from the foundations. And my camera keeps going in and out of focus, and I don't know why, because I've not changed any settings. We'll just have to leave it for now. With this being reversed, what it means is you need to avert this. And to avert this, we tie these two cards together. So it's like saying, okay, if you continue to be weighed down with these burdens, it ain't going to be very good for you. You need to put some of these things down, right? Because we're heading for home, we're heading for the finishing line, but you're carrying all this baggage with you, all right? And it's not going to lead to a good place doing that, all right? You're not going to achieve what you want to achieve unless you just toss these sticks away, right? So to avert a Tower situation, to avert, okay, this is a literal thing, right? Imagine you've got a really high pressure job and you're failing to delegate your responsibilities. You're taking it all on yourself, right? You can see the destination and sort of, you can see where you want to go, but you're still so weighed down. Now, if you don't delegate and let go of that responsibility, you're not going to get to the destination, all right? You're going to like end up having to go and sit with stress, right? Because you can't carry all this burden. So it's like, if you let down some of that, if you delegate, if you stop acting like you have to carry it all, you'll avert the Tower moment, right? So think, how can that relate to your life? What is it that you need to let go of or put down in order to stop something sort of coming of that. Because, you know, if we carry too much, it often does. Eventually, it weighs you down. Good morning, Kaza. How are you doing? Um, so put down your burdens and you'll move a lot faster. Yeah. Right. Back to this screen. I need to sort my screen order out for next time. Right. We'll go for number 5. So, number 5, we have the 5 of Wands, we have the Page of Cups. So, what do these cards mean? Let's have a look at them. So, 5 of Wands is about competition around you. Think backbiting. Think like, you know, when there's just too much going on and people are getting in your way, and or if it's at work, it's like people are niggling and there's a lot of infighting and it's like irritating. Now, because if you look at these people on here, they're just kids, okay? And they're just like battering each other with sticks, but they're not doing any real harm. So interpreting that, it's like these aren't like really, really bad things that are going on around you, but it's like busy, chaotic, people getting in your way, people putting obstacles in your way. It's niggly. It's like imagine yourself sitting in a imagine how lost my train of thought because I was reading the chat. Oh yeah, sitting in a room full of toddlers that are like getting right on your nerves, okay? Because they're all screaming at each other and they won't share and they're messing things up and they're drawing on themselves with stuff and you're just like, oh, for God's sake, will you just stop this? Okay, that's that card. That's the energy of that card. So we've got that, and then we've got it combined with another page. This time we've got a cups page. Cups are about emotions, love, and relationships. It's also water, so it's about how you feel inside, how you feel your moods, okay? So it's like, let's get rid of these niggly problems from around you. We need those to dissipate. We need to calm these waters, because our page here is talking about you. You have a new beginning. You have something that you can be inspired about. You have an opportunity to start something fresh, but you need to get rid of the niggles and the things. It can also be tying up loose ends, okay? So this can also mean that there's things that you need to do to tie up these loose ends. It's like, I always find I feel the energy of this card when I've got like tons of stuff in my diary that I haven't done, you know, like ring the electricity board and spend like an hour on hold to tell them that their new fixed rate is crap. Do this, do that. And like, you just let these things accumulate, and each day you've picked off the best things from your to-do list and then let all the crap just sit there. And then by the end of the week, you've got all of it going on. And then we've been told here, have a Page of Cups moment. Clear the emotional weight. Are you feeling better for the weekend? Get those loose ends tied up, those toddlers put to bed, that calmness just re-established. Reassert your calmness, okay? Yeah, sort of be more proactive in getting these little bits and pieces sorted out and like putting them to bed, because you know, I literally can't sleep when I've got stuff to do, and it's like the things that you have to do that you don't want to do, just go for it and get them all sorted, because that means over the weekend you'll feel more rested. You can enjoy your Page of Cups time where you feel like there's a new beginning, there's a way forward for you, you feel more emotionally calm, you might start to feel more connected with life, more of that page energy, that childlike excitement or enjoyment, okay? The Page of Cups is curious, he's romantic, he is creative. So put everything to the side, get all the nasty business sorted. Perhaps you want to spend some time nurturing your creative side and moving on without that sort of tie to all that crap that you needed to sort out. Okay, so let us move on to the next 2 cards. We'll go for number 1. Oh, I'm nearly off the screen here. We will move these over here. Number 1, what do we have? We've got the 5 of Swords, we've got the Queen of Wands. So what do these cards mean if you've chosen number 1 today? Let's see if these resonate with you. So what do these cards mean? 5 of Swords, was the conflict worth it? Queen of Wands, fire sign lady, or a lady who's quite practical, or a feminine the feminine side of somebody who's quite practical. Remember, with tarot, queens can be men and kings can be ladies, okay? It's either way, either or. We've all got masculine and feminine in us all. So this is talking about a conflict between you and another. I'm going to try, I'm trying not to cloud the waters, but I'm going to have to say this as well. It can also be, when we see a court card coming up, it can also be a representation of a part of yourself, okay? Think the film Glass, where, what do you call him, plays like 13 different parts or something. Like, imagine you're made up at that of all those parts, and this could be a particular part of yourself that you've been in conflict with. So it's either somebody else or it's you. There's been a conflict, okay? But remember this Five of Swords. Yes, you've won the conflict, but this guy has beaten these two people up who are heading for the sea, and then he's nicked their swords, right? But then he's looking around like, okay, was it worth it? I'm a bit sorry that I've taken their swords now because I feel like a bit of a twat, all right? So it's like, was it worth it? Perhaps I didn't need to be as harsh. And that sort of ties in with the astrology that's going on for today, tomorrow as well. It's like, don't be too harsh on somebody. You might want, your ego might want to win the battle, but is it worth it? Think about the longer term, okay? Think about the longer implications of your relationship, either with your Queen of Wands, who could be a fire sign, who could, so that's an Aries, a Sagittarius, or a Leo. Nearly forgot there. So it could be, or it could be somebody who embodies that sort of traits, those sort of traits, that fieriness, that strong will, that sort of thing. And when you're in conflict with somebody like that, you can feel like really good when you win the conflict, but it doesn't do them any good because they want to win as well. And sometimes we just have to let people think that they've won. So this could be a situation where you might have to just be the bigger person, turn the other cheek, that sort of thing, because this guy here, he's not happy that he's won and taken the swords from these poor people that are heading into the sea. He's actually feeling a bit lonely now, and it's like it's lonely at the top, and he's won, but it's like, oh, right, okay, well, was it really worth it? So you might want to think before you open your mouth to somebody who embodies our Queen of Wands. If this is a part of yourself, that makes it a bit more complex, doesn't it? I think what we're looking at there is like that internal conflict. Are you being too hard on yourself? Do you need to compartmentalize everything and either be right or wrong about things? Can you just chuck it in the effort bucket and move on without having to try to sort it out, without having to try to get your head around why things are and why things aren't, okay? Can you just let it go? All right, so two quite different explanations there. We haven't got many people here today. Right, that was just an observation. Let us move on. And do you think my nice intro frightened them off? And I still don't know whether my nice intro had any music with it. So if you were here for the nice intro, then do let me know. KLG, if you're feeling tired and stuff, then honestly, just take a break, go and have a rest. Like, there's you know, if there's any trolls turn up, I shall annihilate them. So no, don't feel that you have to stay, because like, as just a little channel, and there's not much goes on here yet, but we aspire to bigger things. But like, literally go and have some rest, honey. Okay, right, I'm going back to this. We're going to have a look at number 2. How interesting. We've got that 5 of Cups reversed. So what do these cards mean? And teaming it with the High Priestess reversed. So you're being asked to use your intuition here, all right? Because it feels like you've driven somebody or something away. And it feels like you're having second thoughts about them. It feels like you maybe need to backtrack on some decision that you made with your head and make it with your gut instead, okay? Because you might have lost something because you might have been a bit rash. or a bit sort of heavy-handed with somebody, sort of ties into those previous cards. That Five of Swords is a little bit of a regret card, and I feel like what we've got going on here is that regret as well. So you're being asked to use your intuition. It's like indicative of the fact that you've really sort of pressed down that voice in your ear. I'm not talking mental illness here. I'm talking about that voice that we all have that's like, you know, when you make a decision and there's something going, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. And you're like, shut up, I'm making this with my head. But sometimes we need to listen to that voice. And this occasion is you should have listened to that voice, okay? Because something was lost to you, whether that was materially or emotionally. We're talking cups, so it's likely to have either been an emotional loss or it's affected you on an emotional level. It's not just you lost a fiver and you don't care. It's like something was lost and it hurt. Yeah, it made you feel bad. Yeah. So I want you to backtrack and I want you to see if you can identify the moment at which you made a decision that caused that loss, or the moment at which you took a certain action that caused that loss, or if it didn't cause it, didn't help it, did it? And then identify what your intuition was telling you to do at the time. Now, if that's difficult and you're thinking, shut up, you're talking rubbish, okay, why not have a look at that situation? Can you identify that situation of loss, what you've lost, and then try to use your intuition to work out what you should have done to make it be different, to make it play out differently? That works. So interesting cards, I think, because there's an opportunity here to turn this loss around, because with this being reversed, the loss is this way up, okay? But I read these, I wish my camera had stopped going in and out. I've changed nothing and it seems to be like focusing in and out. Annoyed. So with this being upside down, it's like it's returning to you, but I think that's conditional on you being our high priestess this way up, using that inner knowledge and that intuition in order to write what you should have done. So it's like, oh, I've just pressed an arrow down on the screen and I can see lots more comments. So, train of thought, please return to me. Yeah. Identify what you need to use your intuition for. And I'm just going to share that little intuition way of using your intuition really easily again. I know I've said it probably a few times before. Give yourself a yes, no. It's like yes, no is really much easier to ask your intuition rather than, should I speak to such and such and then do this and then do that? Because it's like, whoa, how do you identify what the answer is with that? Unless you're really, really, really quite gifted, it can be difficult. Yes and no is easier, okay? Try this. This is cool. Stand up straight with your feet together, okay? And say really loudly, yes. Now you'll notice you'll sort of sway one way or the other. Most people sway forwards, but it's not a given. You might go backwards. You might be a weirdo, okay? You'll sway forwards for yes. If you say no really forcefully, you might swing backwards unless you're the other way around, okay? Now ask a question that you need to know an answer to and then see which way your body goes. It depends what you subscribe to. I say it's intuition. You could call it like body knowledge, could be your higher self, could be that if you think about, if our brains contain every decision we've ever made and the outcome, think of them as the best computer that ever existed, like an AI sitting up there that already knows the answer to everything because it's already experienced everything that you've ever been through. And so thank you, cats. That's not offensive at all, saying my voice is relaxing. I always thought it was quite squeaky and annoying. If your body already knows everything, then it knows to tell you which way to go, doesn't it? So we could be talking about something external that's giving you the answer. So it could be like an angel on your back giving you a shove, or it could be your intuition, or it could be just something physiological that's giving you an answer, okay? So that's called, I think it's called a sway test. Now there's the other variation of that is to use your heart chakra. So like if you say no really strongly or say something that's not true, like if I say my name is Bob, then I feel like a slight contraction in the heart chakra. It's like, imagine it's like a lie detector and it can give you that feeling. So my name is Bob, contraction, whatever it's called, okay? And if I say something true, I like cats, then it's going to like go the other way. You feel an expansion. So try those things. It's a really useful way of discernment, because I think everybody is psychic, aren't they? Everybody has intuition, and it's like it's discernment that's the difficult thing, because it's difficult to separate your thoughts and what you know from what's coming to you from an external source or from your higher self. Yeah, so it's separating those voices in your head to use true discernment, and that gives you an easy way of doing it. So try that out and let me know how it goes. I don't even remember why I was talking about that now. Right, let us go to number 12. Number 12, we've got the Four of Cups and we've got the Chariot. So what do these cards mean for you today if you've chosen them? Four of Cups can indicate that you're being a bit bored, all right? You're feeling a bit jaded with life. It's like nothing's really exciting you. Even if you're offered an opportunity, like a hand coming from behind a tree carrying a cup and being given to you through a cloud of confusion, you'd probably not even look round at it, because you're like, do you ever get into that state where you're so bored, like you're so like can't be asked with anything, that when something does happen, you're like, meh, can't really be bothered with that. This is this card, okay? It's like you're missing opportunities because of your state of mind, all right? You're not in that like happy-go-lucky, let's take on the world, let's take the bull by the horns, let's do this, let's do that, let us take the opportunity and maximize it. You're not there. You're like, let us sit here and ignore everything because life is tedious. Yeah, this is this card, okay? So that's you. But the chariot is like the opposite. The chariot is like, let's jump in the chariot and ride quickly over everything and make quick decisions and get to places fast. Now, I think what we're looking at with these two cards combined is there's a real conflict here. There's like, you want to move forward, you want to have that experience of going through life, making decisions that resonate, achieving your aims, etc. But you're feeling a bit complacent, procrastinating, not doing anything, thinking everything's a bit boring. Yeah. So how do you change that? Now that's a question I'd like an answer for myself, if I'm honest, because it's really easy to just sit there, isn't it? Like I may or may not just sit watching Wimbledon this afternoon when I probably should do something else. So how do we get in the chariot and drive off? I think, well, from my own experience, I think it's just one step, isn't it? You do one small thing and it leads to another and it leads to another. But the important thing is to break this trance of apathy. That's the word for it, the trance of apathy. We need to break through the cloud of like that feeling in order to get in the chariot, right? So one small step at a time, because I think when you're in this mindset, what you probably feel is an overwhelm. It's like when you sort of think about, my God, my garden's a mess, my house is a mess, I need to do this, I need to do that, my car's got a flat tire, I haven't done this, I haven't sorted the bank out, I haven't checked how much I've got, I need to do this work, I need to pack some stuff for Amazon, this is my list by the way, I need to sort out this, I need to sort out that, I need to, there's like so many things, and thinking about them all, you're like, and I can't do any of it because I haven't got the mindset to do. So if you just think of one thing and write one thing down, like today I will do one small thing, yeah, and then it sort of leads on. Haha, cats, I like that, thank you. So if it just one small thing, do one small thing and see how that snowballs, because it very often does, and before long you'll find yourself in the chariot, yeah, driving your sphinxes forward to that destination that you really want to go. And I think it's like saying that any destination is like, it feels impossible, doesn't it? It's the first step of every journey is the hardest, okay? And it's like, but once you've made that little step, and then you do another and another and another and another. I guess it's like dieting, isn't it? And you're like, shit, I've got like 3 stone to lose, where do I start? Well, you start by not having 4 cornettos at once, which I may or may not have done yesterday as well. So it's like, it's one small step, the first step of a journey, and before long you'll be on that chariot and you'll be getting where you need to get. So, and there's my dogs barking in the background. The dogs of truth are speaking. They're confirming. They're confirming the cards. Right, let us go to number 11. Number 11, we have got a King of Cups reversed. Oh, we've got the Six of Swords. I love the Six of Swords. So what do we have here? It's quite clear. We've got a negative. We have got a negative masculine energy, right? Which is either a person or a situation. But when you see the King of Cups reversed, think dishonest, think quite brutal, think somebody who's not in connection with their, who doesn't have a connect with their emotions. Think that somebody, this as a man, if this is a person, I'm saying man because it's a king, it can be a man or a woman. If this is a human, an individual, this person can be violent, and not necessarily physically, they can be mentally violent, but it comes from a place of they're not confident, yeah? But don't give them any leeway, all right? Just because they're not confident in themselves doesn't mean to say that they should take it out on other people. Just because they feel bad about themselves and they try to make somebody else feel better by being that nasty person, don't let them off with it, okay? Because there comes a time where you have to save yourself, yeah? There comes a time where this personal situation needs to take a hike, all right? And that time is now. And that's indicated by the Six of Swords. Now, this is one of my favourite cards. And I'm scared to put this up to the camera because it must be something to do with autofocus because it keeps going in and out. Because normally it doesn't. When I do that, it normally doesn't go in and out. But it seems to be this morning. But I'm going to do it anyway and we'll just have to live with it. Six of Swords. Look at him. He's on his thing, his boaty thing. And he's carrying you. You are the hooded figure. And you're being taken from... Does that camera... Look at the camera going in and out there. Awful. You're being taken away from the troubled waters and you're being taken to a calmer place. So look how well these cards work together. It's like, get rid of this personal situation that's causing you stress, that isn't for your... It isn't for the best thing. It's not going to give you the best outcome, okay? It's a personal situation that's negative. If it's a person, they are self-centered and they can be quite aggressive, maybe brutal, violent with words, or they can be physically violent, okay? They need to go, okay? They need to be put to bed. And you need to get in the boat and off ski, all right? Moving away to calmer water. But I think that the really strong message from these cards is like, you ain't going to get in that boat and move to those calmer waters. You're not going to leave the troubled storm behind until you get rid of this. Get rid of this reverse king, okay? It's something that you're not going to write. You can't pour... Sometimes you can pour all the care and love in the world into somebody or a situation and it doesn't make a sodding bit of difference because they're just going to remain the same, okay? And that's what we get from this card. So you need to just shut the door on them, get in the boat and go, right? And that way lies better things. Right, let us go to the next set of two cards. Over to this screen. Normally I have these little screens next to each other on my screen so I can just flip between the two. Because I did that daft intro, now I've got three screens on my screen and it's really hard to keep going between the two. So I'll sort that out for next time. We live and learn. Number three, Ace of Pentacles, Moon. Interesting. I have to think of another adjective than interesting because I keep saying it and it's quite tedious. Right, what are these about? Right, Page of Pentacles is often about work or a work type situation or tasks because not all of us have a paying job. Some people have, you know, the work that they do in the home. You might be a... what is it? It's not housewife or house husband anymore, isn't it? It's homemaker. So you might be a homemaker, and that is a massive job in itself. So, hello, White Buffalo Calf Woman. How are you doing today? And that is a massive job in itself. Being a homemaker is a huge job. So, however, whatever your tasks are in life, whether that is your work or whether your work is in your home, we're talking about a new beginning here with our Page of Pentacles. It's like an opportunity is going to be presented to you in order for you to take a new path. But what we've got here is we've also got this tied in with the moon. Now, We're looking at something which needs to be cleared up in order for you to take the path moving forward. That moon can be a bit of a dodgy card because it's like, think of dark side of the moon. Things can look a bit sinister and spooky in the moonlight. And it feels like tying it with our page here, the contextual relationship between these two are like, okay, you've got a page moment. You've got the opportunity that page is handing you. And it's pentacles, so it's like work, it's finances, it's money, it's practicality, okay? You're being handed a practical solution or a new path, but there's something that's not quite right, something that's the dark side of the moon. Often when we see the moon card, you're deluding yourself. You need to perhaps look at things in the sunlight metaphorically. You need to stop looking at things in moonlight because it looks a bit, things can look different, things can look spooky, things can look not as they truly are. We need to get that light on that situation. We need to illuminate it so that you can see it clearly. So are you deluding yourself about something that needs cleared up before you move forward? Or is somebody else deluding you? Because that can also be indicated by that moon card. Is somebody else deceiving you? But there is that deceit. There is that side of the moon that's tied in with this page here that we need to clear up before you can move forward, before you can enjoy that Page of Pentacles moment, that freedom, that childlike drive to move forward in a practical way. We need to drop this association with the moon. And this is a major card, so it's something big. And it could well be that it's something sort of that's held you back in more than this situation. So are you self-limiting? Do you have self-limiting beliefs? Are you lying to yourself about yourself? Like, are you, for example, let's look at a literal example. What could this be, right? You might have been offered an opportunity to do a different job, okay, or to take on board a new task-based thing, okay, but you might not think that you're good enough to do it because that's always what you've thought. Or perhaps somebody in your past told you that you were a bad communicator, or told you that you weren't good enough to do something, and that's held you. That has gone right into your core and stayed there, right? It wasn't true. Now, remember, I'm being literal here. It wasn't true. You need to let go of it. We need to put the moon to bed to take on board the new opportunity, the Page of Pentacles moment, to move forward without that baggage of that lie that you told yourself or somebody else told you. So that could be how these cards resonate with you. But again, I will say this, the tarot is incredibly nuanced and your lives are incredibly complicated. Every single person's life is like a snowflake, isn't it? They're so different because no two people, even when they're identical twins, have the same life experiences. They're all so massively different. And so that's why the tarot can't go, well, this is a guy called Bob, and what you need to do is tell Bob that he needs to go to the shop and he needs to do this and do that, because when we're doing like a generic reading like this, that's far too precise. That's why when I watch like TikTok tarot readers and they're sort of going, I'm seeing a man, he's opening his phone, he's looking at a photograph of you, he's going to ring you in 10 minutes if you like this TikTok. And you're like, shut up, that is so much crap, because that's so precise. You're not doing that. You'd have to be remote viewing, exercising some sort of clairvoyant skill, very, very good clairvoyant skill to see that. It would be like a remote viewing thing, wouldn't it? By a very good remote viewer. So don't do those precise things. If somebody tells you that they can actually read like that, be very wary of that, because the tarot isn't really designed along those lines, all right? But a lot of people saying that, people do sort of use the tarot as a stimulus for their intuition, and then they can perhaps get insight like that. But when somebody's telling you they see that in a card, tell them to sling their hook in general, okay? Unless they can explain how they can see it. So back on track, brain, back on track. Opportunity at work or in a work-based environment. Let go of something that's you've deluded yourself about, or an untruth that you've been told. We need to turn the moon around to be the sun. You need to look at things in clear light, okay? So you have work to do if you chose number 3. Where do we go now? Why is that off the screen? I'm sure when I put these out, they were all nicely and neatly showing. No, they're not. It doesn't matter. We're going to go to number 4. Right, number 4, we've got the Eight of Cups and we've got the World. These are really good cards. I love the Eight of Cups. It's one of my favourite cards, and I'm going to tell you why. But of course, I'm going to tell you why. Right, Eight of Cups. Let's have a look at it this way. Eight of Cups is you walking away from something and leaving it behind, heading for the mountains, going up the mountain, where you reach a better place. You can then look at your life with objectivity. You see what you've done wrong, you see what you've done right, you feel on top of the world, yes? With this being upside down, what we have here is a situation you should have walked away from, a person or thing or situation or things that you should have left behind. You've stayed too long, right? You've overstayed your welcome at the party. Okay, everybody else went home ages ago and you're sitting with the last can of lager at the party. It's gone warm, yeah? There might even be a cigarette that's been put out in it and you're just sipping away and thinking, it's horrible, but I want to stay and see what else happens. Put down that warm lager and get out of there, okay? Because there are better things for you in the future. It's time to be a bit hard on yourself. It's time to recognise when things need to be put to bed, and that's because you're at the end of a cycle, and that's our World card. Now, the World is number 21 in the major arcana, and it's the end of something. It's the end of a cycle. It can be karmic as well, so you know, like karma plays out in cycles. We've got the ending of something. So these two cards together, look how clear it is. This is how easy tarot is. It's like, you've hung around for too long. It's finished. It's the end of a cycle. You need to move forward. Now, what happens when one thing finishes? Another thing starts. Always, always, always look at nature. Look at your own life. Look at spiritualism. If you subscribe to spiritualism, look how we don't die, we continue, things change, we transform, okay? Again, I'm not saying you're going to die here, just in case. It's the end of a cycle, though, to do with something, I think it's emotional because we've got cups coming into play there as well, but it's certainly the end of a cycle. It's the karmic, perhaps the karmic end of something. You've stayed there too long. You can't flog this dead horse. It isn't going to wake up and keep trotting forward. It's done. Finito. Over. We need to leave it behind. You need to get up, walk out the door, leave it behind. I wanted to burst into song there, that walk out the door line, did it? But I won't. So it's very, very clear. Now, what happens when one door, I think I waffled on a bit there. What happens when one door closes, another door opens? And that is really what this World card is about, because the world isn't an ending as such. It then goes back to the beginning. We start with 0, which is the Fool. The Fool is the adventurer, the innocent, the naive, the beginning of something brand new. And that feeling of experiencing new things and not being afraid because you're held back by things that have gone wrong. You know, we all get a bit like we're scared. We've got barriers because we understand how we've made mistakes in the past. Things have gone wrong. Things didn't go as we wanted them to. So it sometimes makes us scared to change. That's that sort of card, yeah? And then we have the World feeding back to the Fool. The Fool is the actually taking on new things with a brave and free spirit, all right? So the message from these cards is clear and it's beautiful. Walk away from what no longer serves you. It's completed, it's over with, because this cycle is going to finish. You're going to start back at the Fool, which is the beginning of the journey, which is stepping out into the new and into the exciting without the baggage of the past weighing you down. So I like that duo. That worked really well, didn't it? Back to the cards. What are we going to do now? Let's go for 9, because I'm sick of ending on 9. I don't know why I continually end on 9. I don't plan it. Right. We've got the 5 of Pentacles and we've got the Hermit. So what do we have here? Let me fiddle with the screens and come back. So basically what we've got here, it feels like materially, like finances, material security, homes, the roof over your head, that feeling of, good morning, Brittany, how are you doing? That feeling of being sustained, having food on your table, feeling that you've got money in the bank. It feels like that didn't feel like, it didn't feel right for a while. It's like you've had a real wobble um, that could have resulted in you experiencing a loss. Could have been loss, a material loss. You could feel a bit cast out. You could feel like you've been sidelined. Okay. And it feels like that should be returning to you. But in order for that to happen, there's going to have to be a period of real self-reflection. You're going to have to go in to get out. And your Hermit card is you going in. Now, Hermit is major arcana, all right? So it's an important thing that you have to choose to do. Now, I love the illustration on the Hermit card because he's the hermit, but he's also got a lamp. So he's like isolation, self-reflection, introspection, going within, learning, okay? But then with that learning, he doesn't just sit in his cabin, just becoming like somebody with a long beard who never sees the light of day. He then implements that learning and he goes out with his lamp and it lights the path forward, okay? So it's like learning on a spiritual basis about yourself, about who you are, what you want, self-reflection, a time away from the hustle and bustle that everybody else's energy brings to you, focusing on yourself in order to regain what you feel that you've lost. Now, it can be material wise. As I said, it's pentacles, so it's practical, it's finances, but not just money in the bank. Could be, but it could also be your feeling of security, the feeling of knowing your place in the world. Did you lose track of that? Do you feel a little bit cast? What's the word? What's the phrase I'm looking for? Cast adrift? Is that a saying? I can't remember. It's like when you sort of feel a bit directionless, and you sort of feel a bit lost in your life. Yeah. That's going to return to you. That's why we've got a reversal of that. It's these two cards are saying to you, that's within your grasp. We can get back. You can get back on track. We can have this back, yeah? You're not lost forever. You're now imagine if you've been cast into the great big ocean and you're sort of floundering. This would be the rope that's shown to you and you grab hold of it and then you can pull yourself back to shore, okay? But whilst you're pulling yourself back to shore, you're going to be very, very alone in that ocean. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because while you're pulling yourself along that rope, you're giving yourself the once over to do with what you really want, who you really are, that introspection, that real insight into yourself that's needed, because then you get your lamp moment, you will light the path forward, okay, moving forward. So two really poignant, that's a new word for me this morning, two poignant cards that I think have got a really deep message for you about sort of that need for isolation, if not on a on an actual physical level, because sometimes we have to stay in a house with loads of people. You can isolate sort of mentally and spiritually, can't you, and sort of do some real soul searching. So finally today we have number 10. Let's hope that we end on a real positive note here. Let's have a look. What do we have? Number 10. We have ended on a real positive note. I like this. We've got the Queen of Cups. I love the Queen of Cups. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. I love the Ace of Pentacles. So what do these cards mean if you chose number 10? Or what could they mean for you? How might they resonate? First of all, the Queen of Cups is an emotionally assured woman. She's in charge, but she's not harsh, okay? She rules, but she rules using emotions, okay, in a good way. She isn't emotionally manipulative. She might be if she was up this way. She isn't. She's up this way. She sort of knows how to, good morning, Helena, how are you doing? She knows how to get what she wants, but she doesn't have to manipulate and she doesn't have to force. She does things kindly. She's a good ruler. She's somebody who works from the heart, okay? And then we've got the Ace of Pentacles tied in with our beautiful Queen today. So it feels like, Brittany, you chose 10. This is for you then. It feels like there's an opportunity being handed to you. And it feels like this opportunity is going to take you to the beginning of something. It's like something begins for you, and it could be work-wise, it could be to do with money, it could be something practical, but it feels like a new way forward. This card you often see when somebody's considering starting a new venture or going self-employed, okay? Teaming it with our beautiful, soft, feminine, lovely Queen of Cups. Feminine can be a man as well, okay? It's that side, it's that intuitive, it's that emotional side of somebody. It's like this could be something caring. It could be, this is a literal explanation again, because the cards are nuanced, remember. This could be something, a new opportunity which enables you to exercise that caring, nurturing side of yourself, that Queen of Cups side of you, who is caring but who is a leader, who is firm but is fair, okay? It could be an opportunity to use that side of yourself to start a new venture. Similarly, it could be saying, okay, why don't we rewind everything that's gone wrong, rewind how you've tackled life lately, and tackle things from a more compassionate way. So if it's not a new venture that's starting up for you where you can be the Queen of Cups, all right? Queen of Cups is a great healer, by the way, so if you were considering some kind of healing modality, these would be really good cards for you. But similarly, could you have tackled something in a more compassionate way? Do we need to be more compassionate moving forward into a new venture or starting something new? That's that ace energy. It's that newness. It's starting new things, new beginnings. Are we being reminded here to be the Queen of Cups? So those are two I'm being quite cloudy and quite vague with this, but I don't mind being vague, okay? Because sometimes the tarot are vague, and it's up to you to join the dots, to see what resonates with you, to see how this works for you. But that Queen of Cups, it's that gentle, nurturing, motherly energy. Pardon me. It's also somebody who's a lover as well, somebody who thrives on emotional love. So this could be, again, we could be seeing the start of something to do with love. So you could be looking at a new relationship literally on the cards here as well. So we've got 3 potential ways that these cards could resonate with you. Are you thinking about starting something new, a new venture, potentially a new business that enables you to use that softer Queen of Cups side of yourself? Okay. Are you being reminded that you need to be more compassionate in order to start afresh with something? Or is there a new relationship about to come into your sphere of energy? So how does that apply to you? How does that resonate with you? Let me know in the comments or email me, naomi@skyspirit.co.uk, if you'd like to tell me. Or you don't have to tell me, I don't mind. While I'm doing all that sort of spreading the info stuff, why don't you subscribe to the channel and share it with like-minded people? I have got today 800 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot compared to most other YouTube channels, but bearing in mind that I only started in February, so it's not been going long, and I'm really pleased with 800 because I remember like the first 100 was like pulling teeth, but it's really slowed down. Because like over the last few weeks it got really, really quick. There was lots of subscribers every day, and it slowed down. And the reason for that is that I dared to do something different and the algorithm didn't like it. So I sort of, whenever I dip my toe into more astrology stuff or more art stuff and things like other things that I have an interest in, the algorithm kicks me up the butt, and then it sort of knacks the channel for a while. So I'm thinking of splitting the channel and doing art stuff and things like that on a sister channel, in order to stop me being bent over by the algorithm, metaphorically. Right, so moving on, let us go and have a look at some questions. Now, first of all, I know that Pedro had one. That's the first one I saw, so I'm going to go up here and look for Pedro's question. Just bear with me while I scroll vacantly. I should have some I've said this before, I should have music on while I do this, while I sort of scroll incoherently through the chat. Right, okay, Pedro, I would like a reading about if human resources from the resort I was working will call me or send me an email. So are human resources going to get in touch? I will put this to the cards. right, we're going to give these a really good shuffle. Okay, so feel free to chat amongst yourselves while I do this. Do you know, when people watch this, like not live, because a lot more people watch this not live than they do live, and like, because I'm constantly talking to the chat, they must wonder what on earth's going on, because you don't see the chat when you look at the recording. I didn't realize that, but you don't. So if you're watching this and you're not watching it live today, then bear with me, and I shall read out when I'm answering questions. I'll read them out. That makes more sense, doesn't it? And you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Just bear with me while I shuffle these as well. That was really bad. I missed both piles of the card entirely there. So let's go the other way. Oh, I must hurry up. I've just remembered that Ron is going to do his live. Oh, but it's not till 12:30, isn't it? But everybody needs time to go and get a cup of coffee, etc., don't they? If you're going over to see Ron on Project Rook, which I would recommend that you do. And maybe do we have a link for Ron's channel? And then perhaps the people who are in the chat who aren't familiar with that will be able to call in as well and say hello over there. Right, okay, so will human resources from the resort contact you, Pedro? Let's go. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got a Queen of Wands and we've got an Ace of Wands, and we've also got the Moon. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is that it's not going to be today, right? You're going to have to wait a little bit. We're going to have to wait for a changing face of the moon. Okay, now luckily for you, the moon changes its faces quite often, so it feels to me like there is going to be contact made. And it's going to be about a new opportunity. So something's going to be handed to you. Look at that card. Look at the Ace of Wands. Something's being handed to you. Okay. But we need to wait for that moon to change. You need to wait for the moon to change. So it feels like it's not going to be today. We need to wait for a change in the lunar cycle. But you are being handed an opportunity, and then we've got a Queen coming out as well. So I feel like it's going to be about something to do with leadership, and you might well have the opportunity to be in a position where you have more responsibility than you have now, or perhaps moving into some sort of area where you're in management or something like this. So Pedro, I think the answer is yes, they're going to call you or email you, but I don't see it being today. I see it being with the change of the moon face. Now, the moon changes all the time, remember, but we need to wait a little while for that change. That moon, when it comes out, when we're talking about timings, is often, I mean, it can mean up to a month, okay, because of the 28-day lunar cycle. But when I see it come out, I normally look at it in, first quarter, second quarter, that sort of thing. So look at the next quarter phase of the moon to try to work out when that news is coming to you. I hope that helps. And where's my pen? I'm going to write down, my eyes, I'm going to write down the spelling of your name. So next time you come here, I will be able to pronounce your first name, because not being able to do that makes me feel massively ignorant. Right. I'm going to scroll down and see what else we've got question-wise this morning, bearing in mind that we've got to finish relatively soon, so you can get a cup of coffee before you go over to Ron's channel. It's really difficult. It's really hard to spot questions. I wish there was some way of actually being able to spot them easier. Right, no, that's Kaza. Come on, silly computer. Ernie, did you ask a question? No, I don't think you did. Still going down, still scrolling down. If you're just joining this or watching this on a recording, it must look very strange to you, but I have to do this. Right, White Buffalo Calf Woman making a video. Oh no, I've lost it. making a video today and reading of what's next on my channel. Okay, you're doing something on your channel. Okay, I'm with you. I have a question. Can I just, oh, that's Brittany D. I have a question. Oh, so I'm looking for a question from Brittany. Oh, Kat, I found a question. Kat, could I have a card about getting career back on track, please, after losses and grief? Oh my goodness, right. Okay, and I can see Brittany's question as well. So we'll look at Kat's question. I'm going to have myself a good shuffle here. What I need is a shuffling machine. So I can shuffle while I look for the questions, because it's a bit disjointed, isn't it? We need to look at continuity issues. So, Cats, a card about getting career back on track. Let's see what we have for you. One more riffle, shuffle, riffle, shuffle. I love that word, riffle, shuffle, riffle, shuffle. It just works so well, doesn't it? So let's have a look. Okay, Cats, let's see. How interesting. Right, so I feel like I'm going to pick that card up as well, because that's your Knight of Pentacles is events moving now. So it feels like things are going to move faster for you now than they have been. Now, the Knight of Pentacles, he moves, he's an event, but it's not like the galloping chaos of the Knight of Swords, okay, who rushes in. This is like a steady progression. But what we have here, we have two beautiful cards, two major arcana cards, which are talking about what that change will be. So it feels like things are going to change, but it's going to be a steady change. And I feel like you're in a position where you don't need things to move very quickly, okay? You need to find your feet and things to move at a more steady pace for you. Because what I see you doing here, first of all, that star card is such a good card when you're talking about career, because it's following your star, it's following your true path. It's like finding yourself again, seeing your name in lights. It's hope. It's also emotional well-being as well. So after experiencing loss, it's like when you come out of the other side of it, because when you've got grief, when you've got loss, you don't forget it, do you? People say time heals. It doesn't, but you find a way to move forward, and that's what the star card is about. It's like your star is coming out again. You can follow a true path. Now, also, what this card is also known for is it applies to healers. It applies to working in a healing capacity, whether that's as an actual healer or working helping people. Teaming that with the Two of Cups, it feels like there might be a partnership on the horizon. And because your question is about your career, it feels like a partnership work-wise. So look out for an opportunity that involves you either sort of working closely with another person or working to help another person. So that these cards would be applicable. Say if you had if you worked as a personal carer and you were working with somebody very closely, you would imagine these cards would suit that situation ideally, okay? But it can also be that your true path lies in working with somebody in harmony, all right? So there's two of you working in this. There's that sort of duality involved here. It's about finding companionship and harmony as well with another person. So I really feel like you're not going to go it alone. It feels like there's going to be somebody with you who helps you to move past sort of the initial nerves of starting on a new path and gets you back on track, okay? So look out for that. But that star card, it's really about that true path, but also about healing. So maybe that's going to be a part of your career, okay? Or sort of a new focus for you. And perhaps as well, speculating a little bit here, but when you've gone through a time of grief and loss, it sort of changes your perspective, doesn't it? So maybe you're not the person that you were before. Maybe your true path is in a different direction because those experiences have shaped you in a different way and have perhaps made you more sort of likely to work with somebody else very closely. in order for you to move forward, or perhaps it's actually helping that other person. So I'd be interested to hear, Cats, if that resonates at all with you. And I hope that it does, and I hope that you feel better very, very soon and can get back on track, because even, you know, even sometimes when it feels impossible, doesn't it? And when you've been through something bad, it does feel impossible. You feel like you're never going to be the same again, and you're never going to get back on track, and you're never going to be able to cope again with certain things. And whereas you're not ever the same again, we never are the same again after any experience, whether it's positive or negative. We change and we adapt, and then we do move forward in whatever way that is. So I wish you all that promise that star card has. I hope that all manifests for you moving forward. Just out of interest there, another card just popped out, Cats, while I was talking to you then. It's the 10 of Wands, which is about carrying emotional burdens for other people and carrying other people's sort of people that have cared for people and have taken on a lot and have had to take on a lot of burdens, caring for other people, caring for people. This is often a card that comes out, and it's like sometimes you now have to let that go. You now have to put down those burdens in order to move forward. So that might be relative, that might be relevant as well to you. Just it popped out, so I thought I'd mention it. Right, Brittany D, I need advice with school. Will the dean show mercy? I only have 2 classes left. Well, that's a yes or no question, isn't it? So we shall see. That sounds, are you the student? Are you the student? You have 2 classes left. Right, let's have a look. And happy July the 4th to anybody from the States who's joined us without seeing us say happy July the 4th in the beginning. So if you've only just got here, happy July the 4th. So, Brittany D, advice with school. Will the dean show mercy? Let's hope that the dean shows mercy. I hate it when there's a question that could be negative or positive. Right, okay, what do we have here? Okay, right, so it feels like you're going to be asked to do more. You're going to be asked to stop procrastinating, and it's like a kick up the butt card. All right, it feels like you've took your eye off the ball a lot. It feels like you have sort of, I'm not saying lazy, like there's a difference between laziness and procrastination, isn't it? Sometimes we get to this position, and this is indicated by this position, where it's like, it feels like you've not put as much effort in as you could do, because you've been feeling like maybe you couldn't see the way forward. You were struggling a little bit to sort of hone into where you needed to go. And so you come to this stalemate. This 4 of Swords is like, this is where you're just lying in bed like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I can't move forward. Okay. It's like you're not moving forward because it's like, you don't know which way to go, and it's like, what do I do? Where do I go? And you get into that sort of way of being, don't you? And it becomes more and more difficult to get out of the proverbial bed and move forward. So I think what we're going to have, we've got the Strength card here, inner strength. What I think the dean is going to say to you, I think that dean is going to have mercy. Okay, I think they are, and I think you're going to be told in no uncertain terms that we need to get out of this bed. This 4 of Swords, look at it. He's in bed, literally, with those swords hanging over him like the swords of Damocles. It's like you're lying there, not doing what you have to do, with the swords hanging over you, worrying about what you should do, but still not doing it because you're sort of stuck there, yeah? But the dean's going to be asking you to sort of pull on your reserves of strength, okay? Because you have it. Remember that saying, you never know how strong you are until you need to be. And that's what this card is all about. And it's like saying you've got it inside you. You know that you can do it. You know that you can achieve what you need to achieve. And I think that dean's going to be merciful and is going to remind you of that. And then you're going to be set back on the path that you needed to be on. So I think those cards really, really clearly show you the path of what's happened. It's that becoming, that overwhelm, becoming, I keep wanting to say lazy, but I shouldn't say lazy, becoming inactive and not doing what you should have done, having it hanging over you, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And I think the dean's going to be quite understanding of that. But I think you need to be honest as well about the things that have brought you to that place, why you ended up in that place. I think you need to be open and explain those things in order for that sort of two-way conversation to happen. Right, I think I've covered all the questions. It's in all the questions, like there's I'm some kind of massive channel where there's just question after question, and there isn't. Some days there's no questions at all. So if you are new to this channel, because it's so little, oh, look at my arms over there. Because it's so little, like, it's the ideal opportunity to ask questions, isn't it? Because if you go to a bigger channel, then there'll be too many people there and you won't get them answered. So if you've just got here and you would like questions, then join me the next time that I'm on, and that will be Monday, I believe. Notwithstanding any sort of catastrophes that happen over the weekend, or if my internet goes off, or whatever else happens in life, because we've all got lives where things can just come out the blue, haven't we? So I think that's me for the morning. Go across to Project Rook, Project. Rook is ROOQ, to see Ron starting his live at 12:30, which will be awesome as always. And I shall see you very, very soon. Take care and stay weird.